how's it going, guys? Big John here. Welcome back to another Commander video. Today's Commander deck is based off of the Angel Aurelia, the War Leader. What she does is she has Flying, Vigilance, and Haste. She is a 2 white, 2 red, 2, 3/4 Legendary Angel with Flying, Vigilance, Haste. Whenever she attacks for the first time each turn, untap all creatures you control. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. So I'm going to get something out of the way so I don't have to do it later. I run 19 mountains and 19 plains, and I'd always top it off with 40 lands to make it absolutely even. So the other two that are not basic are Command Tower to get that extra mana just in case, and Blast Zone to just get some damage in there if I ever need it, just as maybe, or to get that extra stuff in there just in case if I need it. So let's get right on into the video. The first thing on my thing here is I run Fall of Thran. 1, destroy all lands. 2 and 3, each player returns 2 land cards from their graveyard to the battlefield. I run that in there just because I really don't know, actually. I don't know why I run that. Next, I run Colossus Hammer. 1-drop artifact. Equipped creature gets +10/+10 and loses flying, and equip cost is 8. This is meant, in this deck, it's meant to go onto Krinko 10th Street Kingpin to make more tokens. So, you can put it on anything you want, but you can put it on any creature you want, but it's meant to go on Krinko 10th Street Kingpin. Next, I run Magebane Armor. It's a 3-drop equipment. Artifact, or equipped creature gets +2/+4 and loses flying. Prevent all non-combat damage that will be dealt to equipped creature. Equipped to. This one is meant for really anything, but I'd probably put it on onto Krinko 10th Street Kingpin, because whenever it attacks, you put a +1/+1 counter on him, then create a number of 1/1 red goblin creature tokens equal to Krinko's power. So the more power he has, the more goblin tokens you're getting. Next, I run Wild Evocation. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player reveals a card at random from his or her hand. If it's a land card, they put it on the field. Otherwise, the player casts it without paying its mana cost, if able. Oh. Okay. I've been doing that wrong, but whatever. I guess reading it would help. Next, I run Thran Dynamo. It just taps for 3 colorless mana. Next, I run the Wanderer. This is the Japanese alternate art version, but it's a white planeswalker. She says prevent all. How about this? Okay, backtrack. Give me 1 second. I will be right back. All right, I'm back. So I run 4 Japanese planeswalkers. They're all alternate arts, and I remember what 2 of them do off the top of my head, but after I'm done with the rest of the list, I will come back with the actual real versions of these, or the good version of the actual English version of those. So going on to Impact Trimmers. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, Impact Trimmers deals 1 damage to each opponent. It's just like there for when you're making your tokens. Hour of Revelation. Hour of Revelation costs 3 less to cast if there are 10 or more non-land permanents on the battlefield. Destroy all non-land permanents. It's just a board wipe, because can't have a Boros deck without board wipes. Next, I run Bishop of Wings. Whenever an angel enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 4 life. Whenever an angel you control dies, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. I'm going to set this along with Krinko to the side, because I'm going to show you a combo at the end of the video. Next, I run Torbran, Thran of Red Fell. If a red source you control would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals that much damage plus 2 instead. It's there to get your extra damage in. Next, I run Divine Visitation. If one or more creature tokens would be created under your control, that many 4/4 white angel creature tokens with flying and vigilance are created instead. So if I have this out with Krinko, I'm making angels instead of goblins. Next, I run Leyline of Combustion. If it's in my starting hand, I begin the game with it on the battlefield. Whenever you and or at least one permanent you control becomes a target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, it deals 2 damage to that player. Just a little bit extra damage as well. Then I run Mizium Mortars. Mizium Mortars deals 4 damage to target creature you don't control, or you can pay its overload cost for 3 red 3, and it exchanges the target for each. Next, I run Desolation Giant. It has Kicker for 2 white. When it enters the battlefield, if its kicker cost was not paid, it destroys all other creatures you control. If it was kicked, it destroys all other creatures instead. Just another board wipe or another wrath. Next, I run Planar Cleansing. It's just a board wipe. Next, I run Bloodsworn Steward. It's a flying 4/4 commander creatures you control get +2/+2 and have haste. just to make Aurelia bigger. Next, I run Cataclysmic Gearhulk. It's a 4/5 artifact with vigilance. Artifact creature with vigilance. When it enters the battlefield, each player chooses an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a planeswalker among the non-land permanents he or she controls and sacrifices the rest. It's mostly there to do another, board wipe. Next, I run Blackblade Reforged. It's a 2-drop legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2 or +1/+1 for each land you control. For equip, it has 2 different equip costs. Equip legendary creature is 3 and equip is 7. So you can equip it to Krinko for 3. Excuse me. Next, I run Brought Back. Choose up to 2 target permanent cards in your graveyard that were put there from the battlefield this turn. Return them to the battlefield tapped. No matter what, even if it's a planeswalker, it returns to the battlefield tapped. Next, I run a very strange artifact called Hairstrung Koto. You tap an untapped creature you control. Target player puts the top card of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Sorry, I was just thinking. That does not do what I thought it did. Next, I run Dragon Tempest. Whenever a creature is flying enters the battlefield under your control, it gains haste until the end of turn. Whenever a dragon enters the battlefield under your control, it deals X damage to target creature or player or X the number of dragons you control. But the secondary ability doesn't matter because we're running angels. Next, I run Goblin Engineer. When Goblin Engineer enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an artifact card, put that card in your graveyard, and then shuffle your library. You can pay 1 red, tap, sacrifice an artifact, return target artifact card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. He's there mostly to get things like Blackblade, because the main artifact of the deck is Helm of the Host, which I will say now I do not have a Helm of the Host, so it is proxied in paper form in here. That's the only card I have proxied. I originally had another card called Goblin Welder, which is actually up on the top here. Proxied because I couldn't find the Goblin Welder I had, but I had just found it a few hours ago. But next I am running Goblin Welder. 1/1 Goblin. Tap it. Choose target artifact a player controls, and target artifact in that player's graveyard. If both targets are still legal as this ability resolves, that player simultaneously sacrifices the artifact and returns the artifact card to the battlefield. This is there to definitely get back my Helm of the Host. If I have both of these guys on field, and then when I grab him or I play him, go grab Helm of the Host, throw it in the graveyard, and then I have him tap him, choose a different artifact. If I'm about to go infinite with my combos, or with Aurelia, with Helm of the Host, because Helm of the Host and Aurelia mixed together gives you infinite combat steps. That's just the main win con of the deck. I sack off, I don't know, Blackblade or something to go grab Helm of the Host out of my graveyard. That's the whole point of that. Next, I run Transmorgifying Wand. When it enters battlefield, with 3 charge counters on it. Pay 1, tap it, remove a charge counter from it. Destroy target creature. Its controller creates a 2/4 white ox creature token. Activates its ability only anytime you cast a sorcery. That's there to make 2 angel tokens. So I use one of the charge counters to blow up one of the angel tokens I have to gain 4 life. I'll explain later, but it makes 2 tokens instead of 1. Leyline of Sanctity is my next card. It's the same thing. If I have it in my hand, my opening hand, it comes into play immediately, and then its main effect is I have hexproof, or you have hexproof. Next, I run Icon of Ancestry. As it enters battlefield, choose a creature type. Creatures you control of the chosen type get +1/+1. You can pay 3, tap it, look at the top 3 cards of your library, and reveal a creature card from the chosen type from among them. Put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Next, I run Goblin Sharpshooter. It's a 1/1 goblin. Whenever it doesn't untap during your untap step, whenever a creature is put into a graveyard from play, untap it, tap it. It deals 1 damage to any target. It says creature or player on here, but that ruling got changed to any target. Next, I run Sarah's Guardian. Flying, vigilance. Other creatures you control have vigilance. It's just an angel, so it does fun stuff. Next, I run Dragaseth. This is the only dragon in the deck, I think. I'm pretty sure. Whenever it attacks, it deals 4 damage to any target and 3 damage to each of up to 2 other targets. So he's just in there to get that extra damage in. Next, I run Brass's Bounty. For each land you control, create a treasure token. A colorless treasure artifact token with tap. Sacrifice this artifact. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. That's just there to double my mana. 1 second though. Creature. Okay, I was rereading Divine Visitation. Next, I run Dehu with Eyes Open. He's a legendary creature with vigilance. Whenever he enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a Planeswalker card. Reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle your library. If a source would deal damage to a Planeswalker control, prevent 1 of that damage. He's just in there to go grab a Planeswalker. Because I run 5. 4 Japanese ones and then 1 that's not. That's why there's only 4 over there. Next, I run Legion Loyalist. Has haste. Whenever it and at least 2 other creatures attack, you control. Creatures you control gain first strike and trample until the end of turn and can't be blocked by creature tokens this turn. He's in there just as like real quick early damage and to buff up my angels when I go to attack. Hitting my angels better. And he's also a goblin for Krinko Mob Boss to make more goblin tokens, to make more angel tokens. I'll explain later. Next, I run Genesis Chamber. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield, if Genesis Chamber is untapped, that creature's controller creates a 1/1 colorless Myr artifact creature token. That's there to get me more tokens. Here's the only proxy card in the deck. Helm of the Host. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a token that's a copy of equipped creature, except the token isn't legendary. If equipped creature is legendary, that token gains haste. Equip cost is 5. I'm trying to think if that would screw myself over if I have Divine Visitation. I'll have to ask someone else that knows this game better than I do. Oh, there's another Japanese card I gotta set aside. Next, around Desolation Twin. It's a 10-drop artifact, or it's a 10-drop Eldrazi. When it enters the battlefield, you put a 10/10 colorless Eldrazi creature token onto the battlefield. I forgot that it makes a creature token, but it's there for if I don't have Divine Visitation to have 2 10/10s, because it's just a big giant creature. Next, I run Altar of Dementia. Sacrifice. It's a 2-drop artifact. Sacrifice a creature. Target player puts a number of cards equal to the sacrifice creature's power from the top of their library into the graveyard. This is for another combo that's going with that combo over there that I show you at the end of the video. Next, we're in repeated reverberation. When you next cast an instant or sorcery spell or activate a loyal ability this turn, copy that spell or ability twice. you may choose new targets for the copies. It's just, I don't know. It's good. Next, I run Outpost Siege. As it enters, you choose Cons or Dragons. Cons says at the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library until the end of turn. You may play that card. Dragon says whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to target creature or player, so any target. Excuse me. Next, I run Warp World, which is an 8-drop sorcery. So each player shuffles all permanents he or she owns into his or her library and reveals that many cards from the top of his or her library. Each player puts all artifact, creature, and land cards revealed this way into play, then puts all enchantment cards revealed this way into play, then puts all cards revealed this way that weren't put into play at the bottom of their library in any order. It's just a really funny card. Next, we're in Ember Hellion. It has Trample. If another red source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals that much damage plus 1 to that permanent player instead. Again, making my damage more damage. Next, I run Thalia's Lancers. First strike, whenever it enters the battlefield and search your library for a legendary card, reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle your library. It's in there to get legendary creatures, to get either legendary creatures or my legendary artifacts or my legendary planeswalkers, blah 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 blah. It's mostly in here to get this Krinko Mob Boss or Krinko 10th Street Kingpin. You tap it, create X 1/1 red goblin creature tokens, where X is the number of goblins you control. I love him. He's my favorite creature ever. Next, I run Soul Ring, just basic commander card, tap, add 2 colors, manage your mana pool. Next, I run Relentless Assault. Untap all creatures that attack this turn. After this main phase, there's an initial combat phase, followed by an additional main phase. Next, I run Boros Charm. Choose 1. Boros Charm deals 4 damage to target player, or permanents you control are indestructible this turn, or target creature gains double strike until end turn. This is just a decent Boros card. Excuse me. Next, I run Dark Dweller Oracle. Pay 1, sacrifice a creature, exile the top card of your library, and may play that card this turn. This guy is just... I really don't know why I'm running him. Because I'm probably never going to use him. I'm probably going to just use him as a goblin, because he's a goblin. Next turn, Victory's Herald. Angel with flying. Whenever it attacks, attacking creatures gain flying and lifelink to them turn. This is a really, really good card in this deck. Next turn, Squee the Immortal. Whenever you may cast Squee the Immortal from your graveyard or from exile. He's just a good goblin for my extra goblin stuff. Next turn, Shrine of Loyal Legions. At the beginning of your upkeep, or whenever you cast a white spell, put a charge counter on it. Pay 3, tap it, sacrifice it. Put a 1/1 colorless Myr artifact creature token on the battlefield for each charge counter on it. It just makes a lot of Myrs. Next turn, Hedron Matrix. Equip creature gets +X where X is its converted mana cost and equip is 4. It's in there for either Krinko or Desolation Twin. To make Desolation Twin to 2020 or make Krinko just 3 bigger. I don't know. Next I run Hammer of Perforos, legendary enchantment artifact, creatures can hold of haste. Pay 3, tap it, sack a land, put a 3/3 colorless golem enchantment artifact creature token on the battlefield. Next I run Flame Blast Dragon. I do run 2 dragons. Huh. You may pay X in red. If you do, Flame Blast Dragon deals X damage to any target. And technically I run 3 dragons because I run Turian Mauler, which is a changeling, so it's all creature types. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may put a +1/+1 counter on it. It's in there just to make a big boy creature. Because it's technically an angel, and it's technically a goblin for Krinko. And then the last card that's English that I don't have to do is Chandra Pyrogenius. +2, Chandra Pyrogenius deals 2 damage to each opponent. -3, it deals 4 damage to target creature. And -10, it deals 6 damage to target creature and each creature he or she controls. Or target player and each creature he or she controls. There you go. So that's about it. And then I'm going to have to go get the English... I'm going to have to go get English copies of these. Give me 1 second. I will be right back. Alright, guys, I'm back. So the first thing is Feather the Redeemed. It's a flying. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell that targets a creature you control, exile that card instead of putting it into your graveyard. As it resolves, if you do, return it to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. Next card is the Wanderer. Prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt To you and other permanents you control, exile target creature with power 4 or greater. Next is J, a Venerated Fire Mage. Another red source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player. It deals that much damage plus 1 to that permanent player instead. -2. Jaya deals 2 damage to any target. Teo, the Shield Mage. You have Hexproof. -2. Create a 0/3 white wall creature token with Defender. And finally, Nahiri, Storm of Stone. As long as it's your turn, creatures you control have first strike, and equip abilities you activate cost 1 less to activate. Nahiri, Storm of -X. Nahiri, Storm of Stone deals X damage to target tapped creature. Alright, 1 second. Alright, back to business of showing off, or that's all the cards, but back to business of showing off the combos that I wanted to show off, or the combo I wanted to show off. Oh yeah, before I do that, so this is in my Golos video a few weeks ago, I showed off a playmat by Guire Gaming. I'm going to show off a token that he made, that Kelly McGuire made. He's starting to make a lot of different tokens. I will put the link in the description again, but these are his custom tokens. This is his spirit token. So this is just one of his many tokens. I have two more tokens like this, but they're a little bit different. But anyways, let's get back into showing off the combos. So, start things off. So, you got both Krinkos. Excuse me, let me get the glare off. Both Krinkos, which, hang on, let me. Okay, you've got both Krinkos. You got both Krinkos, which make Goblin tokens. And then as those Goblin tokens are entering the battlefield, they're instead becoming Angels. Which then, if with Bishop of Binding or Bishop of Wings, every time one of those angels enter the battlefield, you gain 4 life. And then with things, and then I don't know why I have Shrine. I don't know why I have Shrine of Loyal Allegiance here. But with Altar of Dementia, you sacrifice the angels, starting to mill your opponent, which makes 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying, which then are turned into angels, which gain you 4 life. So let's say Krinko has all the artifacts that are supposed to go on him to buff him up. And you've swung 4 times, so he has 4+1/+1 counters on him. So he has a max of about 20 power. Swing for 20, make it 21. Make 21 Goblin tokens. On the stack, tap Krinko, this Krinko, make 1, 2, so 23 Goblin tokens, plus the 21, so 44 Goblin tokens, which when they enter, that's 44 times 4, it's 44 angel tokens that are entering with Divine Visitation, which are coming in and gaining you 4 life for each of them, so you're making them 4/4s, which are making you 44 times 4, so 44 plus 44 is 88, and then 88 plus 88. 8 plus 8 is 16. So 176, I think. 176 life just from doing that small thing. Then you sacrifice all of them off, mill your opponents out for so the same amount. So if let's say you're in a 4-player game, you mill someone out completely, you mill another opponent out halfway. Then with all 44 tokens, as those 44 tokens are sacrificed off, they're turned into 1/1s, which are then in turn turned into 4/4s instead. Which then the 44 4/4s are gaining you the 44 times 4 life. Which then you go to sack them all off again, turning them into 1/1s, turning them into 4/4s, gaining you the exact same amount of life, and then this goes infinite. Technically, all you need is to make 1 token with these 3. You don't even need these. That's why there's other token generators like Teo. Teo makes a wall token. That wall token instead enters as a 4/4 angel creature token, which then gains you 4 life. Then all you have to do is sack it off, mill someone for 4, make a 1/1, which turns into a 4/4, gaining you 4, sack it infinite times. You just need 1 token. All you need is these 3 and 1 token, and you win. That's all you need. And this is gotten really easily by a couple of cards in the deck. This is gotten... These 2 aren't gotten very easily. But, you know, this deck is a work in progress. This is what I have right now. And that's just one of the biggest win cons. The main win con is Aurelia with Helm of the Host. So how it works is you equip Helm of the Host to Aurelia. I'm pretty sure that if this will not work if you have Divine Visitation on the field. So how this works is you enter combat. Since this has haste, you swing. You enter combat. You're making another copy of her, a token copy of her that's not legendary. You swing. Then, since this swung for this specific one swung for the first time in the turn, you go to untap all creatures that attack this combat. I don't think she can attack again. Oh, she can attack again. So you go with the copy. So you enter combat, make another copy of her, swing with the one that you made last time, and then after that enter another combat. You're just making infinite copies of her while taking infinite combat steps, because you play her, swing her, you take another combat step, which then has the exact same effect. Since that specific one just entered, it wouldn't have been able to attack, so it didn't attack first at all. So you get to swing again, and then take another, and make another, do it again, over and over and over and over again. And if your opponent does not have a flyer that has more power or more toughness than Aurelia, then you will win with infinite combat steps. But yeah, that's basically my Aurelia deck. I hope you guys did enjoy this one, but if you have any suggestions for changes, please put it down in the comments. I do want to keep it with the same basic plan with the tokens, infinite life gain, infinite mill. I also, that Golos deck I mentioned earlier, I did take that idea. I took Golos, and I completely made him into a different deck. So the deck you guys know right now, there's a new version of it. So if you want me to upload that, please tell me in the comments. I can't remember the guy's name. There was a guy in the last video, in that he was the only commenter. He commented about my Golos deck, and if you or anybody else that actually watches these videos wants me to upload the other Golos deck, because almost immediately after I uploaded that, about a day or two after, I completely changed it. If you want me to upload a video on it, please tell me. If not, then I just won't. But I am building another deck soon, around the legendary creature known as Jin-Kataxis, Core Augur. And yeah, I'm probably going to upload a video on that. Other than that, I'll probably start doing some gameplay of games I have, and more Magic. That's about it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like, subscribe, notification bell when I upload new videos. And that'll be it for me. Bye-bye.